Hi, this is Missy with the eLife, here to talk to you about mental health. Let me digress back to about 20 years ago. What we discovered back then is that when your body takes in toxins, what it does to protect you is it surrounds those toxins with fat. This study that I'm speaking of was proven with two 14-year-olds that started gaining weight. They were twins rapidly, and they were put on every diet, sent to every doctor, blah, blah, blah. Nothing seemed to work. They were trying to figure out what had happened. Well, what had happened is they had sprayed mosquitoes in the small town that they lived in. They were outside playing, ingested this, and their body began to store the toxins that it breathed in body fat, and these children began to just gain massive amounts of weight. The eLife diet is the diet that was used to help these children so that their body could balance again. But that's not what this video is about. It's not about what I discovered 20 years ago and what the O-Life and the eLife has always been about, and the reason why it's been able to help people to release the toxins that are stored in the body. But I need to take it farther now, because I myself had to deal with a mental imbalance after I broke my neck and was put on various medications and went into a deep state of depression that led to suicide. Not only once did this happen in a 3-year period after 3 surgeries, but twice. Now here I am, the creator of the O-Life, and I am the O-Life, and I am the eLife. It's not just something I practice and preach to people. It is who I am, my lifestyle, and everything. So I already am eating well. I already am healthy. I've had all the blood work done that there is, yet I'm suicidal. I can't sleep. I have insomnia. And after going to several doctors and doing everything that I could to find the right doctor to help me, I finally found and was led to a psychiatrist, which in all my teachings, I did hypnotherapy, NLP, things like this. I was always taught that all psychiatrists did was prescribe medication, right? And please understand, without not knowing me, I don't even take aspirin. Because when I was young, I was allergic to basically the air. They literally wanted to put me in a bubble, and that's what they did back then. So through the course of my life and healing myself, working with many, many amazing, passionate doctors of Western medicine, Eastern medicine, all types of medicine, I was able to heal myself, and then the thousands of people that have come to me that I have helped, and I have also learned from them. But the topic I want to share today is on mental health and the journey I had to go on to heal myself, and what I discovered and what I've learned from working with experts, taking in my own knowledge, being the one that has gone through it, and then listening to the advancements we have made in medicine, piecing it all together to what I'm presenting to you here today. It's a very passionate topic for me because I believe that those with mental imbalances can be judged the most because people don't understand. Also, I want those that have mental imbalances to know what's really going on and how it can be healed completely. So as I told you before, when you take in toxins, the body absorbs them in fat. And to protect you. When you go through trauma, severe trauma, I'm not talking about hurt feelings and the small dysfunctions that every family has. No, I'm talking about brain tissue trauma from sexual abuse, physical abuse, and even if the mental abuse is enough, that you actually have tissue damage in your brain. It's not firing right in those areas. And so the brain does the same thing that the body does. Now, generally this stuff happens when we are young. What happens is you go through this horrid trauma, and while you are going through it, the brain is creating this octagon, and some experts call it like a ball of yarn, but I like to see it as an octagon. And the brain puts all this trauma in this octagon from this certain event, and it will store, because most likely it's going to happen more than once, whatever the abuse is that's happening to you. and it will store as much as it can in this octagon in your brain. All right. So just like the body stored those chemicals in a certain area, now your brain in a certain area has got your trauma in there. And whatever age you were, she's kind of still locked in there too. Of course, you've got more trauma that goes along. So, some of us have got, a lot of octagons in there. All right. So imagine all these little stored pockets of trauma in your brain that are encompassed and protected. And then if you're like me, not only did I go through severe physical abuse, I also had 8 head injuries by the time I was 14. So all of those caused a lot more trauma in my head. And then there's just the trauma of being a child of trauma and being looked at as being normal and trying to go to school and function and life in your teen years. And all this trauma just goes on in there. Well, for me, having the surgery caused all my octagons to explode. And so even though I had spent over a decade in therapy in my early 30s and 40s, to heal my trauma, I still had not healed all of it. So what I'm trying to tell you is children of severe trauma, not dysfunction, but those of us that come from severe trauma where we have tissue damage in our brain, just like people store toxins in their body. Our brains don't fire like everybody else. The Amen Clinic is wonderful, and they have proven this. People that come from balanced upbringings have healthy brains. It all fires like a symphony. And an orchestra, it's beautiful. Those that come from trauma don't. Our brains don't fire. We have a different, like our violin isn't playing, and our drum's not playing, and our piano is not playing. And so we don't function like everybody else in life. And this is where you can be judged. And this is where I'm hoping people will become more educated. Children of trauma, as we grow up, we're not very good generally with traditional things. We either become addicts or we become our trauma and we repeat. Now the climbers, you're the one that is actually on a mission because see, your brain is programmed to heal. So if you don't numb it out with drugs and you don't just become an aggressive monster because of what happened to you, and you actually begin a journey of healing through life. And hey, maybe you go through the drugs and you go through being a monster for a while, whatever, but then you find yourself coming out of that at about 24, 25, or 35, or 40, or 50, or even 60, it doesn't matter when it happens. But what you're on, your whole life, your brain is trying to heal you. So what I'm trying to say is you're not going to have an ordinary path. And some people try very hard to, and it causes them more problems because they're not listening to their brain. Some people call this their intuition. Some people call it their higher self. You can give it a lot of names, but really your brain is trying to heal, and it's going to take you through different stages in life that are different than anybody else. Such as myself. On a whim, I went into the military. I became a professional bodybuilder. Then I became a Zen master and taught meditation and all these things. My life has been a journey. I followed my brain, and it was a journey of healing. I was never very good at the traditional things. I could never remember people's birthdays. I wasn't into traditions, the functionary things in life. That people that function very well, they go to college, they get a job, they get married, they buy a house, a car, they go to church, they pay their bills, and life just flows for them at a very functional level. And then you have those of us over here that have a completely different trajectory in life because we are healing trauma. And this is how we stop it. This is how you stop it from continuing to happen over and over because you are paving a different path for others to follow. That's how we heal trauma, and that's how we stop abuse from even happening. We have to go inside, and we have to create other pathways, and then we have to let others. So your brain is trying to heal. At the eLife, we've created a program bringing on board psychiatrists, life coaches to help you heal the trauma. We have an extensive 12-month program that is the exact same program that I went through and I'm helping others go through, where sometimes it does take medication, but don't feel bad. Took my life twice and stopped breathing and had insomnia for 3 months that I needed medication. I went to several different types of therapy, NLP. Nothing was working for me. I knew that I needed higher guidance. I needed somebody smart enough that could work with me and speak on a level that I understood. I did. And through that journey, I have learned a lot of things in getting well, taking the medication for a year, getting off the medications. Like I said, I already have the diet and the exercise program that I help people with that is a must, because you have to have the nutrients for your brain to heal. And I'll tell you what happens is all those little octagons in your brain begin to dissolve and your brain starts to fire like a healthy one. So you can heal. And you are a trauma survivor. You're some of the strongest people on this planet. I admire people that have lived in the same house, that have sweet lives, that didn't go through abuse. I admire them, although I cannot understand their life because I've never felt it. We truly can only understand that which we have felt. But it's nice to educate people in your family if you do have an imbalance, not to judge you for not maybe returning phone calls or doing this or being irresponsible. You're going to be a lot of things. And especially until your brain fully develops at 24 or 25, that's when your healing really begins. Up until then, you're just in chaos in all those different octagons, and they can grab you at any time. When the octagons in your brain grab you, it's called emotional masking. Those parts are trying to heal. And a lot of people don't even remember what they do when this happens. Emotional masking is where your unconscious parts of you, those trauma parts of you, take over, and that's why we call it unconscious masking. And a mask comes over, and you do things, say things that are not even you. It's just that part of you that's stuck in those little octagon cages trying to get free. You'll say things, you'll be mean, you'll do all kinds of things. And then when you come out of it, you won't remember it. And then, of course, you'll be judged, ridiculed, and all kinds of things for it. So this is a whole new, higher, more advanced, loving way of looking at things, realizing that you are a trauma survivor and that you're here to change the whole pathway of healing. So instead of looking at yourself as being less than, you're not. You have to have the people in life that have the cushion lives, and you have to have the people in life that are the climber. You have to have both. The difference is that it's time for everybody to begin to appreciate everybody for our unique paths. Okay? We all have different paths, and the climbers have the roughest path there is, because we are healing traumatic experiences along the way, and we're going to fall and we're going to fail, and we're not going to be normal like everybody wants us to be, and we're not going to be good at normal conversations and things like that the normal brain can do. Because see, we're over here trying to fix our piano or trying to fix our drums or being drawn over here to this that everybody's going, why is that person doing that? Well, because it's healing a part of my brain. That's why I'm doing it. If you ask them, why are you doing that? I don't know. I just know I have to do it. Same thing with me. Why did I go in the military? I just had to do it. Why did I become a professional bodybuilder? I just had to do it. You know, why did I become a Zen master? I just had to do it. I hope this has given you a greater understanding. At the eLife, I am here to help. Trust me, I've been through death's door more times than I want to talk about, but there's a way to heal. There's a way to feel amazing. I've made it fun. It will make sense. And hopefully the outer world will begin to understand that the climbers in life should be admired. Because every day that we wake up is a fight to become greater, a fight to be better, a fight to heal, and a fight to stop abuse from happening altogether. And the only way you stop something is by stopping it inside of us. We can fight it all we want on the outside. but we must address the inside, and that is our own brains, because we are all interconnected. This is Missy with the eLife. Thank you for watching this, and I hope to hear from you soon.